Yes, well, there certainly will be some new faces in the Capitol building behind me here. It's been a night of some interesting developments, but certainly it sounds like that both the Senate and the House are looking like just how the polls indicated that it would. But some interesting developments in terms of a couple of Democrat House representatives. Now, it's two of the first female Native Americans to enter the House. We're also looking at two of the first Muslim women to enter the House, Rashid Tlaib and also Ayhan Omar, one of them from Michigan, the other one from Montana. Now, also we're talking about the youngest woman ever elected to Congress, Ocasio-Cortez. She's a young socialist from New York. And as we've heard, of course, Ted Cruz signing off that announcement that the Senate will be kept to the majority for the Republicans. But let's talk about this further. I'm joined by Sarah Burrow. She's from Raw Story. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, what do you think? It looks like things have kind of gone out in the way that we expected them to. Any upsets, any interesting things that have come out of this?
I think a lot of Democrats were hoping that there would be this massive blue wave that would sweep everybody out. That's not what happened. Some of the polls were showing that things would probably stay in Republican hands for the U.S. Senate, and that certainly happened. I think a lot of people were shocked at the Florida results. They expected it to, at the very least, keep the Senate race, and maybe the governor's race would be a little bit tighter. So folks are seeing that. There have been a lot of Republican upsets that were not expected tonight. There were some that folks figured that they were probably going to fall, but some that we didn't expect.
You've reported a lot on the youth vote. Do you think the millennial vote came to fruition here? Has that boosted the numbers of the Democrats?
I think a little bit. We saw in Florida the students who survived the shooting at Parkland, Florida. They did a huge voter registration drive that resulted in 41% more young people who registered to vote. The same thing happened in Texas, where we saw 508% increase in young voters registering to vote. And that Senate race, Ted Cruz may have won, but he did not win by what he should have won by. That was a very close race for a Republican in a pretty red state. So I think the youth vote was a big part of that. You talked about Ms. Omar in Minnesota, is it? And she is a young Muslim woman who reached out to millennials and young people and got a lot of young people registered to vote and excited about the election. So that was another race that I was watching, and I'm excited to hear about her progress.
What do you think that it says about the state of the US at the moment, the fact that there wasn't such perhaps an alarming turnout like the blue wave across the country?
I think it shows exactly what we're dealing with right now. There's a lot of division in the country. There's a lot of division in politics and in Washington, and the voters are reflecting that. You see both sides are coming out in droves. There was a huge turnout in every state in the country, which is not expected. You don't see that in midterm years, and I think it's because both sides are energized and they wanted to vote.
What about the woman vote? I mean, there was a lot of discussion around the fact that Justice Kavanaugh being sworn into the Supreme Court would galvanize a lot more women to come out and vote for the Democrats. Do you think that that's happened?
Anecdotally, I saw a lot of interviews with women who were Republicans who that was a decider for them. But I think at the same time, a lot of issues, the Republican tax bill did not give a tax cut to working families. And I think a lot of women realize what that looks like now. I think, too, healthcare was a huge issue, which is something that working families really need to deal with in this economy. So I think, women certainly came out to talk about Kavanaugh, but at the same time, there are a lot of other issues that women care about.